Have you ever been frustrated with God? I mean, seriously, hold on. Have you ever just wondered, God, why did you do this? Or how can you do this? And it's okay. He already knows you're thinking it, so it's okay to ask a question. Now, we don't want to ever question God's character, but we do want to ask questions. And this is exactly what the prophet Habakkuk does. In this short 3 chapter book, Habakkuk is asking God, God, how can you use an unholy pagan nation to discipline and even be the instrument of judgment over your people? Listen to Habakkuk chapter 1. The oracle which Habakkuk the prophet saw. How long, O Lord, will I call for help, and you will not hear? I cry out to you, violence, yet you do not save. You see, the context of this is the people of Judah are about to go into captivity. And Habakkuk probably saw them go into captivity. And he's wondering, God, where are you? We're crying out to you. What's going on? Habakkuk was clear in his understanding that Judah was guilty, but now Babylon, a pagan nation, is going to come in and take them over. God, you will use a non God fearing nation to do that. And throughout this, Habakkuk begins with complaint against God. He even says in verse 5, look among the nations, observe, be astonished, wonder, because I am doing something in your days you would not believe if were told. For behold, I am raising up the Chaldeans, that fierce and impetuous people, who march throughout the earth to seize dwelling places which are not theirs. Through this passage, he begins to cry out to God and say, like in verse 12, are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We will not die. You, O Lord, have appointed them to judge, and you, O Rock, have established them to correct. He begins to see that God is still sovereign. God is still faithful. What is God doing? So what is Habakkuk's response? Well, at the end of the book of Habakkuk, here's what he says. Verse 18 of chapter 3, yet I will exult in the Lord. I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. The Lord God is my strength, and he has made my feet like hinds feet and makes me walk on my high places. So what do we see? Habakkuk begins with complaint. He ends with praise. And maybe you and I get so frustrated with God sometimes that we need to stop and remember how great God is, how good God is. So how do we do that? How do we move from complaint to praise? How do we move from criticism to exaltation? Well, there's a verse that I want you to grab hold of. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. Here it is. I will stand on my guard post and station myself on the rampart. I will keep watch to see what he will speak to me and how I may reply when I am reproved. Habakkuk is a man of prayer, a man of fasting, a man who says, no matter what God does, I'm going to listen to him, I'm going to learn from him, and I'm going to love him. Oh, that we would move from complaint to praise, from criticism and questioning to prayer and exaltation. Habakkuk teaches us that God really is sovereign, he really is in control, and he really is good. And that's seen in his son, Jesus.